If you're from Yorkshire, you would hear, put wood in hole, lad. Put wood in hole. It's just standard. You just have to do it. You keep the doors closed. Hola, bienvenidos a LightSpeed Spanish. Today I'm going to talk about windows and doors and about how Spanish people treat windows and doors compared to English people. It's very different. Now you might be saying to yourself, wait a moment. Spanish people treat windows and doors differently to English people. What is this wizardry? Well, it's true. For 22 years, I have been with my beautiful wife. Who, if you didn't know, is Spanish and whose family, cuya familia, también es española. She has a Spanish family. That wouldn't surprise you with her being Spanish. However, I have experienced what it's like to live a la española, and I've experienced what it's like to live a la inglesa. And when it comes to the treatment of windows and doors, things are very different. I have to take you back in time to when I was just a little wee whippersnapper living in the northeast of England, on the coast, where it was very cold. What was very important back then, and still is now, is that every window and door was closed, tightly shut, never to be opened, especially in the winter. And given that in South Shields, where I'm from, the winter goes from around about September through to May, the doors had to be shut at all times. And windows, well, they were there just for looking through, not for opening. If you came into a room and you didn't shut the door, in my house, you would hear, "Shut that bloody door." That's what you would hear instantly. Why? Because when you leave a door open, especially in South Shields, a draft blows through the room and everybody gets cold and all of the heat leaves the room, which is another thing you would hear. Shut the bloody door, all the heat's escaping, you're letting all of the heat out. This is very standard. We all grew up, all children grew up hearing the parents shouting, "Shut the door." If you're from Yorkshire, you would hear, "Put wood in hole, lad. Put wood in hole." It's just standard. Then, some 22 years ago, my then beautiful friend, who turned into a beautiful girlfriend and who turned into then a beautiful wife, came to visit me. Whilst she was staying with me, I had to do some work and I went down to the place that I worked at, which is just literally below the place I lived. And whilst I'm working in the shop, the phone rings and a friend of mine says, Gordon, something's happened. All of the windows in your house are open. I think you might have been burgled." Well, I slammed the phone down, ran out and looked, and sure enough, every window in my house was opened. It's never been seen before. So I ran into the house. Cynthia was there and I said, "Cynthia, what happened? I've just had a phone call telling me all the windows are open." And she said, "Yes, I did that. Tiene que correr el aire. Air has to flow." And that was when I discovered the way that Spanish people treat windows and doors too, which is at every available opportunity, they open them to let the air flow, which in the northeast of England is a scandal. We don't want air flowing. We want air to remain. We want it kept. And Spanish people want it to move. So did that scandal, people calling me, people pointing up, going, "Look, all the windows open, what's wrong there?" Did that stop my beautiful wife from doing that? No. To this day, it doesn't matter whether it's winter, summer, doesn't matter. In the morning, I walk into my bedroom, the patio doors are wide open, there's a gust of wind blowing in, freezing wind, I walk into the kids' bedroom, the windows are open, the air's flying everywhere, and all I can hear is my dad's voice saying, "Shut that bloody window." Add to that we live in Madrid. Now, Madrid isn't like the south of Spain. Madrid enjoys, if we can use that word, extremely cold winters and extremely hot summers. So in the winter, when the doors and the windows are open and the air's flowing, I am dying of cold. But then in the summer, the doors and windows are open and it's hot. And you might say, well, that's absolutely normal and everybody should open the windows. No, and I'll tell you why. Because around about May time, the flies come out. And when you open a window, if you leave a window open, which has happened, I've gone out and inadvertently a Spanish person's opened like 75 windows. I come back and my house is like the Amityville Horror. I don't know if you've ever seen that horror film where the whole room was filled with flies. And what happens? My Spanish family come, all the doors are left open, the windows are open, the house is filled with flies, and then they go home. And they go bye-bye, leaving me with 7 million flies to deal with. And I'm not a happy bunny. And so there we have it, the big difference between somebody from the northeast of England, where men are men and sheep are scared. We like the doors and windows closed because we do. We want to keep all the air in. But I'm married to a Spanish lady, and rather than keeping the air in, she wants to let it out. I've adjusted to most things. I've adjusted to the Spanish culture. I'm very proud of my adjustments, but I've got to say that that's not something I don't think I'll ever adjust to. I spend my entire year closing doors and windows and catching flies. What about you? If you live in Spain, are you a door and window opener? Do you like the air to flow? Or perhaps you're from the north of Spain and you like to keep the doors and windows closed because it's cold up north. It's cold up north. It's cold here. We're in May and I'm still cold. I've got a jumper on. And if you're from the UK, tell me, is it normal to have the doors and windows closed? Have you heard the close that door, you're letting all the heat out? Have you heard that as well? I'd be interested to know in the comments. Muchas gracias y hablamos de más cosas más tarde. Adiós. Ojalá tuviera